Man on the phone. It's the one and only my brother in broadcast, J.T. Williamson. Good morning, sir. How are you?
Hey, Paul, how are you doing this morning, man?
I'm doing dandy. How are you doing? That's the question.
Well, I'm hanging in there, man. I'm feeling pretty good. Just wish I was back in there. It always happens. I've always said this. Every time I take a vacation, not that I asked for this one, but every time I take a vacation or take time off, all the good, juicy stuff happens.
I know.
While I'm not there.
I think. Go ahead.
I was telling Will, I'm missing some of the best times on the radio right now as I'm down a little bit with the, out being sick. But, man, you've had some stuff to talk about.
Well, you just couldn't have scheduled this at a worse time,
I'd take it back if I could.
I know. For all of your many fans, and by the way, I just want to let you know that there has not been a single solitary morning driving to work that I haven't put you in my prayers and a lot of other people. And to know from where you were at the early days and the reports we're getting, don't tell me that prayers don't work, because I think you are a perfect example of that.
Paul, I sat here last night with my daughter and my wife. Gary brought some more cards from listeners, and it literally blew me away that people still sending cards and letters, and the folks that have been praying for me. Paul, you and I don't know if you realize how many people are personally attached to you and I and Rebecca and Sports Talk Mississippi, and how much we are a part of their daily lives. And people have expressed that to me through correspondence, through get well cards and letters and things like that, is how much you and I are really a part of their lives as they go about their day. And it blew me away, the stuff that people said, sent me, and continue to do so. And yes, thank you for the prayers. And everybody out there, I'm truly a miracle, and I don't want to get into all that this morning. I want to talk to you. I want to talk to the listeners. But thank you, Paul, and thank you to every listener out there. And I really want you to really take and soak that in, because you and I and everybody else, Sports Talk, Rebecca, everybody that's up there at SuperTalk that's on the air, we are a large part of Mississippians' lives. Yeah. We are part of their daily routine. And they've reminded me of that quite a bit.
Yeah, they do. And they miss you tremendously, like they would miss any family member. And that's why I've always looked at the people who listen as every single one as family. And I think when something like this happens, that brings it out. I do have to ask you, how are you feeling now, and what's the status of where you are in this battle?
Well, Paul, I'm fine. I mean, obviously, I had a pulmonary embolism, which is a blood clot that hit my lungs on March 3rd. And if it wasn't for God's grace, I never would have gotten out of St. Dominic's. I coded 5 times while I was waiting to go to ICU. A young nurse there at St. Dominic's saved my life 5 times. It's funny, I had a CT scan last week as they were checking my body for lymphoma, and it's doing better. It hadn't spread or anything. It's getting smaller. But they checked my body with a CT scan, and they could literally see my 1 through 6 ribs where they were healing from where they were fractured, where that young lady performed CPR on me in the emergency room to save my life. And I can't wait to the day that I can meet her.
You coded 5 times. You spent some time with Jesus.
I don't remember any of it. I was on a ventilator.
Jeez.
It wasn't only that. It was some tough times in the in the ICU. About the first week, it was touch and go for my family. You don't survive pulmonary embolisms, Paul. There's only a few people that do.
That's right.
And that's a miracle of God. But to answer your question, Paul, I feel good. I feel great. I have a doctor's appointment today. I'm going for a checkup, and it's amazing what medicine can do these days. And all these people that are out there, these doctors and these nurses. Of course, I went in right before COVID got bad. It was starting to rear its ugly head as I was in the hospital. But these doctors and these nurses that are up there that put in these hours and that are on the front lines right now, they truly are the heroes that are out there. And I can't thank the people enough in the ICU and in the emergency room that literally, through God's grace, saved my life. But I am feeling better. I'm stronger. I'm still having to work with a walker. You lay on your back for a month in the hospital, and you kind of, your body forgets how to walk. It's really about your balance. So I get around, I scoot around on my walker and do a lot of physical therapy here at home. I got a great physical therapist, and she's trying to make me balance and stand on one leg with my eyes closed. I told her I couldn't stand on one leg with my eyes open before I got sick, and now you're trying to make me do it with my eyes closed.
Yes, I was talking to, as you say, Big Daddy the other day, and he said you were calling and trying to get back on the air real quick, and he said, "Well, come on, take care of yourself. Don't rush back. You just be careful, and you want to get back on the air." But I mean, this is the worst possible time with a respiratory disease out there too, and that's not what you need.
I know. Well, if I do come back, Paul, I'll do like you did. I'll be here from the house when I come back. But I miss you guys. I know. I miss you, Paul and Will. But most importantly, I miss our listeners, man. I really miss being on the air. And you know, Paul, you and I have done this a long time. You've done it longer than me. I'm not going to say how much longer than me, but you have done it longer than me.
Well, count 52 years and subtract it from yours, so that's it.
Well, I started in '89, so I'm not too far behind you.
Well, I started in '69, so I got 20 on you. So.
All right, there you go.
Or 68,
I forgot what it was. 69. But, you know, we always worked at a single station, Paul, and the power of what we have at SuperTalk Mississippi and the people that we reach, it's mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing. You don't really realize it till you get away from it, until you're not there. Yeah. And you see it from a different perspective, and you realize how many people we reach with SuperTalk Mississippi, and what a family we have there at the office, not only in Jackson, but all our offices. I've gotten letters from families of some of our local hosts. I got a picture that a granddaughter of our local host in Laurel, she drew for me, and I've got it sitting on my refrigerator. She colored it for me. The family that we have at SuperTalk Mississippi with our employees and our fellow workers, and then, of course, our listeners, it's just it's unbelievable. And until you see it from a different perspective, you can't really register it. Does that make sense?
Yes, it does, because, well, this company is very unusual, because you've got people, especially in the industry of broadcast, you've got people who've been here for most of their adult careers, or if it's not most of their adult careers, they've been here for a long, long time. And you and I, we were the it sounds almost like ESPN at the early days of ping pong. We started, the Super Talk, and so it's been a long, long time, and we've grown through the ages with it.
Paul, you remember the day I came there, snotty nose young and 23 years old. Showed up there 23 years ago.
Yes.
23 years ago.
Hey, I hate to do this, but we have people. We're to the point now where we have people who said, "I grew up with my daddy listening to you when he took me to school," and we're beginning to hear that now. That's how long we've been doing it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Well, and the other thing too is great. Certainly, when we used to take more calls back in the old days, but some of the people who became characters themselves on the air in some of those calls, they've been gone, died a long time ago. It's just amazing, and we never forget them. So, but Paul, it's good to hear from you.
I'll be back, and I can't wait. I really can't wait to see everybody up there.
Well, we're looking for. Our prayers continue. Now, you remember what a bumper meant. You remember what the bumpers mean when you hear it.
I do. I can hang on or I can hang up. It doesn't matter.
Well, we're almost out of time, so we're going to let you go because I don't want to push you too much. But I do thank you. It's so good to hear from you, and our prayers are still with you. So take care of yourself. Do what you're supposed to do, because we got to get your butt back here as soon as possible.
Yeah, I'm ready, man. I love you.
All right. Got it. JT, good to hear from him. We have final segment coming up next.